a final question.
Great.
So, are there any books or blogs or journals or authors or even theories that you can recommend that students of Families and Society go out and look for that would help them better understand the learning goals, but also just some of the underpinning ideas of Families and Society?
Well, I'll kind of break it down by each of those different groupings.
Sure.
So sort of cross-cutting overall theory, I would encourage people to look at Bronfenbrenner's ecological systems model, which articulates sort of how people grow and change based on the different sort of spheres of their lives. So the people who are quite closest to us, and then institutions that might be a little bit more removed from us but still have an influence, like schools, religious institutions. And then moving out one sphere from that, macro, big picture, social level kind of influences. And then even one step further out than that, influences that are based on time. For instance, I came of age before 9/11. I grew up before terrorism was what it is now. Now that terrorism is part of our social time, people are growing up with an understanding of this terrorist out there who's scary and dangerous. So that influences people's growth. So Bronfenbrenner is super important in terms of that context. Ecological systems theory.
Okay.
Family systems theory is another sort of underlying, very common theoretical foundation for our fields, and certainly for the cluster. And that sort of talks about how groups of people come together and form, whether those are biologically connected families, work families, whatever it winds up being, how people interact with one another in interdependent and habitual kinds of ways.
Okay.
So we think about patterns and roles that unfold in families that can sometimes be really hard to break. And then I would think to sort of get some of the historical and social context, Stephanie Coontz, anything written by Stephanie Coontz. The Way We Never Were, The Way We Really Are, The American Families. She has a book on marriage, A History, I think it's called. So those are all very good. And then in terms of just sort of the basic framing, and then in terms of specific sort of populations, for early childhood, for people who are interested in how little kids grow and change and develop, the National Association for the Education of Young Children, NAEYC, is a national organization that has a professional association that has a pretty solid web presence with a lot of downloadable free material. So I'd encourage people to look at that. There's also an Oregon chapter. For folks who are interested in young adults, teens, the Child and Youth Care, it's called cycnet.org. It's an international network of child and youth care practitioners. They have some free journals, web journals, that people can access quite easily that have a lot of really kind of amazing perspective from practice. And then sort of on the policy side, I would look to people like Mimi Abramovitz, who teaches out of NYU, I think. Karen Sercombe, who teaches here over in the College of Urban and Public Affairs. Trying to think about other folks who might be useful. From sort of a broader perspective, in terms of nesting the work we do in that context of social transformation and social change, I would encourage people to read Bell Hooks. I would encourage people to read Patricia Hill Collins, Beverly Daniel Tatum. Certainly anything by Paulo Freire would be fantastic. Sort of transformative education runs through most of our courses.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ben.
You bet. This has been fun.
Yeah. Thanks.